All right, ladies, here we are for Tori's training. We want to get you comfortable on video. It's so important. We're in business. We have to show the world who we are, right? So, oh, great. Nancy's here. Now we're jumping in. All right, Tori, take it away.
Hi, everyone, and so excited for you guys to be here. And got a little presentation for you guys too.
Awesome.
Because I know, does that work? Do you see it?
No, huh?
Hold on. Now my screen is just huge.
There we go.
Okay. Cool. And let me open up the chat over here. See if you guys have questions. And you might hear some crazy noise in the background. They're doing some work on this apartment complex today. So I apologize.
Okay.
So really, I wanted to talk to you guys about how to quickly master using video on your smartphone, and also video in some other parts of your business too, because video is one of the main ways that we're connecting now, especially with COVID and everything else. So I wanted to share some simple tips to kind of make you feel more comfortable using video on your smartphone device. Okay, now I don't know about you guys, but video is the primary way most people communicate these days, and my guess is that you guys are one of those people. How many of you will sit there and watch a video over reading something? And I know video, for me, it can show you something, it can take you somewhere, or even introduce you to somebody. So what can video do for you? I know in my business, video has changed my business dramatically. I run a home staging company, for those of you who do not know me. And basically, I used to be a TV reporter in my past life, and I hated selling. And I really wanted to figure out a way where I could get my brand message out there, but I didn't necessarily have to do all the talking and be salesy, because I don't like when people are trying to sell me. And so I always came across of like, I didn't want to sell people. So I went back to my roots and really started using video. And launched a YouTube channel back in 2010, and started creating all these how-to videos and how to do staging and why staging is important. And that really elevated my business quickly in terms of getting my name out there and having me come across as this expert in the industry. So video can really be the catalyst to help build relationships. I truly do believe that. And we're all familiar with, obviously, the traditional ways that we usually build relationships, with one-on-one meetings, networking events, conferences, and of course, more recently, social media. But it's more than just kind of pitching yourself and getting a business card or scheduling a post, right? These days, we really have to start nurturing the relationships, and we have to be intentional. So I really think it's important that when you're having conversations, it's really funny. I was just on another a Facebook Live with somebody that I was interviewing, and she's a stager as well. And she'll go and speak to an agent and not go there pitching, but go there really with a pad and piece of paper, a pad and a pen, and ask them more about their business, so she can figure out a better way to serve their particular needs in their business. So I really think that it's all about active listening to your audience, your customers, and the industry. And you can discover what they need and be their problem solver, right? Because they have a problem and you need to be the solution. And then by coming up with solutions and recognizing their needs, you can really become this authority and this expert and someone that they trust and that they refer ultimately. And doing this on video, so it's constantly out there, sharing your message, becomes your sales tool and makes this whole entire process a lot easier. So that's a little bit of why I think video is so important in your business. And I know since we're dealing with COVID restrictions still in some areas, rather than scheduling in-person meetings, you can use video to obviously schedule one-on-ones online. There is no substitute for, getting to know a real person. So even having this online one-on-one would be really important for your business. And I really think in order to leverage our time and get in front of people, we should be reaching out to at least 5 people a day and ask how they are, how you can help them. It's really easy to do that right now because everybody is so inundated. So just kind of asking them, showing up as a person versus someone you're trying to pitch something or sell to could be a nice breath of fresh air. You could also try using Messenger or FaceTime if it's more of like an informal conversation that you want to have. I'll always just find people on Messenger and hit the video button and see if they pop on. And they're really, some of them really surprising me. And they're like, wait, I've never done this before. And I prefer to speak to somebody face to face, like through a camera versus being on the phone, because I need that extra way of connecting. But you can use a program called Acuity Scheduler for virtual tea. You can have a Zoom account to hold professional meetings that can be recorded, something like this. So there's lots of different ways where you could still be communicating and using video to kind of create that better connection point. Yeah, there you go. So here's my Acuity Scheduler. Do you guys use a scheduler at this point? Anyone in here? Nancy?
Alicia, do you use that?
No.
No, I don't. I don't have any idea what it is.
I can't see who's here, but that might be a good idea. I mean, that's a neat summary of your services, scheduling of services or types of appointments, but can you show them kind of what, I'm sure they've seen it, even that page?
Yeah, so this is, so on this page, I have a couple of different ways where people can connect with me. And it goes to one link that would be on my website. Or I can actually embed this whole entire page that you see on your screen into your website, and they can push, whichever one they decide they want to do. But this is a great way. It connects up to Zoom too. So then you can have your one-on-one session on there, and it allows them to get on your schedule without you physically having to confirm it. So it kind of saves you time in the long run. There's other ones out there like Calendly, Judy, I'm not sure what other ones, but yeah, I use Acuity Scheduling.
Yeah, I use Acuity, and I've used others, and I think it's the easiest. I like it the best out of the 3 or 4 out there that I can't remember the names, but yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I love using video to connect with people because I'm able to see their faces, read their expressions and body languages all on a video chat. And so a few things to consider if you're going to be doing more video conferencing is that you want to make sure you have a good microphone. You want to make sure that you have good camera quality on your computer or whatever, however you're actually going to be scheduling the call. You need fast internet, obviously, and you also want to be mindful of your lighting and the background that you have. And we'll go into the microphone, lighting, and background in a little bit. But I think this is a great way to kind of automate that one little part of the process, because I don't know, just sitting there going in, scheduling things can be time consuming, and we all don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about video confidence boosters, you want to have an outline or talking points of what it is you want to say on a video. I always recommend that you read through it at least once or twice before you decide to press record, especially if you're new to video, because it'll make you feel a little bit more comfortable. Your brain will kind of trigger different words based on the outline or the talking points that you might have. Another thing here is that you want to frame yourself up. So The frame is this whole entire thing that you see around my screen, right? And let me stop sharing for a second so you guys can see. Okay, so if I was, so when I'm in this shot right here, I kind of like to put my body in between these two rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, what are they? Yeah, in between these two rooms. If I was way over here, like, where does your eye go? Does it go to me or does it go to this wall right here?
Yeah. Goes to that cabinet next to the faucet. Yeah.
And so you want to try, and what's Alicia, she's got it right too. She's kind of in the center, in the corner, and it's connecting to, it's almost like the shelves are forcing us to look at your face because of the way that they're lined up in the shot. And even Judy too, she's showing the little closet behind there, but she's still in front, center stage. If you were over a little bit more, I think, yeah, everyone would be like, ooh, what's happening in that closet? So you want to be mindful of your background.
Okay, cool.
And you also want to frame yourself up right too. So if we, I know a lot of people go on camera and they're like this, and this is not very, it's just not very professional, and it's just not showing like you are the authority in the conversation. So you want to make sure that you have, I would say, at least like a ½ inch above your head. We don't want to be like this too, because this is really off-putting as you're watching this, right? It's like, hey, what's going on? And it also looks like you're bumping your head too. It's like, ooh, that hurts a little bit.
That's good.
So you want to be careful of your background, and not have like weird things sticking up out of your head, or anything really behind there that might, like that's okay. But if you had like a really tall plant in the corner, it would look like you almost have some type of hat on or something.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah. So, and it's not, it's really distracting to somebody watching, and you want to look as professional as possible. So that's why I wanted to share those tips with you. Cool. Another thing too, when you're considering about doing video, is that you want to have these wide shots, right? But you also want to think about tighter shots. So like, you could do this in editing, but you can honestly, so if I shoot like this, you see everything, but in editing, you might only be able to see like my chest up and cut here. And that's called a tight shot. Zooming in is where you're zooming in on something. You want to do that nice and slow and steady whenever possible. And also panning, you could pan to the left, you could pan to the right. And that is when you're using your camera to create motion and make the shot look more interesting. Because when you're just talking on camera and it's just a talking head, it can get pretty boring, even if you have the most amazing content out there. So be wary of that. I do have a YouTube channel. If you guys want to check it out, see some videos, you can go to youtube.com/homestagingtv. And see what that's all about.
Sorry, what was it? YouTube.
Oh yeah. I got rid of my screen, didn't I?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to type it in the chat. So it's youtube.com.
youtube.com/homestagingtv. Okay, let me go back to my screen here.
I have to say, Amber's screenshot there, her picture is very professional. I love it. I love the colors. Yeah, really good.
Do you see my screen again?
Yep.
Okay, good. Okay, let's talk about some equipment here. Actually, I can stop screen share again. So what I love is I have a selfie stick tripod, and this is great for your camera. So it allows you, if you're just going to walk around and kind of show something behind the scenes, you can do that, attach your camera, and use the selfie stick. The tripod is great because you can put it on obviously any countertop and make the shot more steady and actually have it lined up to, you know, where you actually want it lined up and not just piled on a bunch of books or leaning up against something. You're actually getting the shot that you want. So this is really effective when you're shooting on your camera. I think it's like $25 or less. You could find it on Amazon. There are some, you have to pay attention. There are some that most of them do come with remotes, but this remote only works for pictures. There are others that apparently do work for video, so you might want to be mindful of that. Another thing is that you want a lavalier mic.
Can I ask you something about the selfie stick, please?
Yeah.
And is that the one we did at our conference last February? That one? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to get a selfie stick for everybody here, but I didn't. And why is because I couldn't find one that was more universal to different cameras. So I don't know if you happen to have that URL. I couldn't find it for the life of me. If the ladies might be interested in that, because that one is a really good one.
Yeah, you can go to bit.ly. Here, I'll put it in here. bit.ly BV tools. And I've got a bunch of different pieces of equipment on there that you can check out.
Thank you.
So this is a lavalier mic, and it's always great to get, you know, good quality video when you can. You want to pay attention to how long the actual wire is, because that's going to allow you to kind of step back and show things more depending on what type of videos you want to do in your business on your phone. This would just go into the phone. Obviously, I have a Mac. I have an iPhone, so I need the little adapter here. You want to make sure that you have this if you have a later phone model. But yeah, you would just stick it on your lapel right here and start chatting. They do have wireless mics. However, those tend to use a specific software. So you might not be able to live stream essentially on all of them, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So
I have a question. I have a basic question. I have a lavalier mic. Lord knows where it is now with the move, but I don't generally use it. So I would use it if I'm going to be outside, like when I do my photo shoot coming up in Charleston, then I will need that. But short of that, do you need it when you're just, you know, at home or in the office?
if you could control the audio, then no, you don't really need it. However, sometimes in a house, you'll hear an echo, right? And so it depends. I guess you'll have to check it out to see if you hear an echo or not when you're doing videos. Sometimes I'll put it on, sometimes I'll just go without it. It's really forgiving right now at this point when it comes to video, because people are doing reels, people are just doing lives, they're just showing up on video. The professionalism of video is kind of left at this point. And there is still a point where you do need professional videos to highlight your business and yourself on websites and things, but just to show up and to provide good quality content, you don't need all that professionalism anymore. I have one other piece of equipment that's really cool. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi there. I want to ask, there's a lady I know that's got also an Apple, but she's got it's a wireless, it's a white thing that literally just sits there. I saw a guy using it online as well, and he was literally sitting at the beach. So you can see the waves, but there was no distortion at all. There was no sounds that came out. That was actually incredible. You could actually sit there in video. So I don't know. What's your opinion on that?
I think you can actually use your AirPods. I don't have AirPods, so I have not tested that out yet. But I think you can use your AirPod, like if you have an iPhone.
Yes. I don't have the F. I just got my iPhone, so I don't even know the thing of the iPhone yet. But okay, so what do you call it? AirPod.
An
AirPod.
AirPod.
Okay.
Wait, I'll put it in the chat.
I think that's what they use.
Yeah.
I'm trying to save up enough money so I can get them. Make it worth it.
I don't even know what that is. I was thinking it would be a Bluetooth something, but maybe that's the same.
That's it right there.
That thing.
Yeah, Amber. Amber, have you ever tried to do a video with that?
Yes, I have, and they actually work really good. I've never done like a long-term video, like an hour long or anything like that, but just like little Zoom calls and things like this, it seems to work. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, really well.
Yeah, and you actually sound really good.
My personal, my trainer uses it to train, so that she does the training in person, and I should join in live on Zoom, and she uses those, and it's super clear, and I don't hear her breathing loudly. It's actually very nice.
Yep.
For an hour session, so that helps.
That is a really good solution. One other thing that I like using on my phone is a LumiCam, a Lumi case, I should say, LUMEECASE. A lot of times, you know, I'm sure you might have seen out there where they put the light, like you can attach a light to your phone. I'm always running around. I've got so much different pieces of equipment to begin with that I don't need an extra thing to worry about. So this is actually the case, and it allows you to light either the front side or the back side.
Wow.
And you really just have to make sure that you charge it every once in a while. So this is a really good investment. It's like 40 bucks, 45 bucks. And it's a really good durable case too. So it's not like you have potential of breaking it. I've dropped this thing multiple times. There's more of a plastic on the side of it. So it's a really durable case on top of all of that.
That's great. I need that.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, where am I here? Let me go back. Okay, so yeah, there's that that link, bit.ly/VV tools if you wanted to look more into those. So let's talk a little bit about horizontal versus vertical videos. What's the difference? Obviously, vertical videos came into power with IGTV, and even going live originally on Facebook and in the stories section. I still think vertical is going to be your most bang for your buck, and so IGTV now allows a vertical video to be put onto that platform. And I use vertical all the time when it comes to doing live streams, because then I can repurpose that video a lot easier on the different platforms without worrying about those like the black sides. So I do think, you know, if you are going to like focus on IGTV or just focus on live stories, and that's going to be the way that you're going to communicate depending on what platform that you do decide to choose. Because I would agree with Judy, like you need to start with one and start somewhere and get really good at that. And then add on. Doing it all at once can get really, it can get really challenging, and I would say confusing and overwhelming, and then you end up doing none of it. And that's why we say choose one. So I will sometimes do a vertical video, but most times you'll see me instill that traditional horizontal mode. This way I could then reuse that content, put it on my blog, put it on my YouTube, put it on the different platforms that I want to choose. Also, if you're doing reels too, you know, that's a vertical format too at this point. So if that's going to be your go-to and that's what you're going to do, and you're going to start like pounding it hard and doing reels, then you would want to use a vertical approach. Oh no, my cat's throwing up. Sorry.
Oh, no. Hold on. Sorry.
Okay. So here's a video that I did, and I kind of want to explain what's happening in this video, because this is a pre-recorded video that I edited. And so I'll play it and then kind of talk a little bit about the process of the video. Oops, maybe I'll play it.
Learn how to eliminate ants from your peony blooms to enjoy these perennial flowers both inside your home as well as out.
So that right there is called a teaser. And just like you watch any type of news, newscast, you hear them say before a commercial, the story coming up, or they try and tease you with a sentence or two of why they should keep watching. And so it's so important now at this point, because we're running a mile a minute, we've got so many things happening. And so we want to make sure that if somebody does land on us, that they hear that sentence and then keep watching and not just turn off. That right there is a montage of different still shots that I had of myself. And I need to update this, but my logo right here is something that I created in Keynote at the time, where I basically just had the two words coming together and then transform your home, become show worthy kind of pop up. And I put all of this together in an editing platform, which we could talk about, but I basically just created really quick clips of those photos and then added this little keynote presentation to it and put some music underneath it in an editing software. So that is called a bumper. And this is how you would brand any pre-recorded video that you decide to do for your company. And this is important that it's on brand with the other parts of your business. So when somebody sees this, without necessarily seeing your logo, they know immediately this is your video. It could be it could be a color, it could be your logo, it could be pictures, it could be just something that really defines your brand.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Tori here with ToriToth.com, the place to be to create a home buyers or anyone for that matter will find irresistible.
So that is an intro, and that's something that I say basically on every video that I was doing on my YouTube channel. And when I say that one sentence, that immediately puts me into, video mode. It's like, okay, I'm doing a video, I get in the zone and I focus. And I really think it's important that you guys have an intro. And it's really funny because I've been doing a lot more lives at this point, and I do lives on various different platforms and things, and I don't have an intro. I'm just like, hey, welcome to another episode of Visible You. I'm your host, Tori Toth. Like, it doesn't necessarily say what it is that you're watching or what you're doing. So if you have, you kind of want to touch on that. Yes, you want to say where you're from and who you are, but if you could just touch on a little bit of why they should always come back and follow you, that would be a good thing to put in there as well. And we're actually going to be we're going to be diving deeper into the intro of your videos at the retreat.
Yay.
Oh, wait, we're not done yet. Go back. Oh, shoot.
Learn how to look. Hey, Tori here with ToriToth.com, the place to be to create a home buyers or anyone for that matter will find irresistible. Peony season.
This pink petal beauty is one of the first flowers to bloom in our yard. It's a sight to see until ants come marching in. If you're like me, you banned your peonies to your yard for fear of bringing ants inside your home. The ants are attracted to the sugary syrup produced by the buds. They come to help the flower bloom and do no harm to the plant. Here are 2 ways to ditch the ants from the flowers and add them to your bouquet. Just remember to cut the flowers with long enough stems. Either cut the bud before it's bloomed and wipe off the ants, or to enjoy a full bloomed flower, dip the bloom in a bowl of soapy, watery mix to remove the pests and prevent them from entering your home. Add your peonies to a decorative centerpiece to enjoy all season long.
Want more gardening tips? Go check out this.
So that video, I actually shot the video one day while I was out just gardening in my yard. And when I was going to go decide to put it into, YouTube and get it ready and edit it, that's when I went back and I actually read that. I wrote out a script and I just read it. So you might have been able to tell a little bit of the audio difference there, but that's something that you can do too, depending on what type of videos you're trying to create. If you just need to go out and get the B-roll, so you have, the wide shot of the flower bush, and then you go tighter, and then you're, dipping it in the water, you can go and do that and not worry about what you're going to say, essentially. As long as you just have the intro and the outro shot, you can put anything else in that video that you want. So don't be like, well, I need a script and I need an outline before I can shoot a video. If you can just go shoot video, whatever you want, and put a video to it later on. Another good thing that you definitely want to do in all your videos is obviously have a call to action. So I'm telling people here, go check out this video next. This is an end screen that you would see in a YouTube video. And so what would normally pop up if this was in YouTube is that you would get another video to watch, where it says watch this next. And there would also be a circle come up around the subscribe word so they can go subscribe to the channel. I also tell them, go check out my website, toth.com, for more home tips. So that's actually a lot of those are 3 different calls to action. You don't necessarily need all of that. You just want one that they can go and do. And we're going to go into this a little bit deeper inside of the retreat too. But the anatomy of a video is that we really want to start with deciding on titles and topics, and then bullet point that out, the ideas that we want to talk about in each specific video. Decide on the different backgrounds that we want and the location that we want to shoot these videos in, and then really focus in on the teaser, so that beginning piece of the video and the intro, so what you're always going to say all the time to introduce yourself. And then what goes into the video is the content of everything, and I usually say keep it simple, right? People just want quick information. They want digestible pieces of information that they can go and then utilize. So I would say 3 talking points is usually best. Sometimes if it's a bigger topic, you could just do one, like 1 talking point, or if they're a little smaller, you can probably do up to 5. If you do anything more than that, it can get redundant. People can fall off and not watch the entire video. And then of course the call to action that I was saying. Okay, so for editing, there's a bunch of different ways that you can edit videos these days, right? And if you do have an iPhone or any type of Mac computer, you have iMovie already on your phone. So that's a great tool to utilize if you want to start editing clips together, adding music to things, and really putting together a professional looking video. That's free. For my Android users, there's a similar product out there called Power Director that does the same thing. There's also apps that I love to use, which is Ripple, R-I-P-L, and Pick, Play, Post. Now, those apps allow you to take different videos, put them together. You can do a slideshow with different images. You can add title on it, titles, so words on it. You can put music onto it, and it's really just a plug and play. It's a lot simpler. because they already have these templates that you can use. You can obviously create something from blank and do it yourself, but they already have templates. So you could just utilize those as well if editing seems scary to you, or you're not quite sure that you want to go into a bigger product like an iMovie. Cut Story, I love Cut Story too, because if you are doing a longer video, the Cut Story app will actually cut your longer video into these shorter snippets that you can then put on your stories. So your Facebook stories, your Instagram stories, and now everyone has stories, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and even YouTube. They all have stories, and they're all just a little bit different. Some are 15 seconds, some are 20 seconds. So Cut Stories does it all for you, and then you can just upload it that way. It does take a little bit of time. It's a little bit of a nuisance, but if you want your video on stories, that's an easy way to do it.
Tori, can I just pause for a second? Okay.
Yeah.
So I know at the retreat, we're going to talk about different types of videos. Like, you already mentioned the reels, or even now, especially on LinkedIn, very quick, 20-second, raw, just talk kind of thing. This is more, I guess, a little bit longer, more involved. But what are your thoughts about editing it yourself versus, outsourcing that?
I think you can outsource it a lot. I mean, at this point, video doesn't necessarily need to be edited because of all the different ways that video is appearing in the social media platforms, right? I mean, so if you're going to focus on Reels, then there's already an editing platform in Reels that you can use to add stickers, to put clips together, to add titles, to add music. So it's already in that platform for you. So you wouldn't necessarily need something like this. But if you're going to create more of a pre-recorded video that you want to put out on a YouTube, on your website, then these are the platforms, iMovie, Power Director, that you would want to use.
Okay. I'm going to ask another crazy question. All right. So I've done a couple of reels, but I didn't really do it. My right hand did it. And when I went in it, I couldn't figure it out for the life of me. So, did you plan on doing tutorials, or what would you recommend for people like me that are technologically challenged? Like, I would love to do more reels, but they say it's easy, but it ain't easy for me. I mean, is there an easy way to, is there a great tutorial out there for that?
I think we could maybe poll the audience to see what type of videos people are specifically going to want to create and focus on that.
Okay.
I'm game for any of it.
Okay.
But I mean, video marketing it's a huge, concept in itself. So we want to focus in on where they need it and where they want to.
Right. But here's the thing. I'm all about, I don't know what reels are. Sorry. I mean, what is reels? Okay. Well, there you go. So we're going to be talking about the different types of video at the retreat, but I'm just thinking, if I were the attendee and we're doing this, I love it. But yet when you're talking about editing, all of a sudden my eyes glaze over and I think outsource for $20. I'd rather have somebody else do it because I don't really want to learn. It would take me hours and my time is worth more than 20 or $25. So I just throw that out there because ladies, whether you're here with me live or on the replay, we do want to know, when it comes to video, how have you used it? How do you envision using it? And I'm sure many of you are like, well, what are the options, right? And that's where Tori's gonna teach us that down there. So
I also think, what does it take? I mean, if you run through a specific thing and just see what does it take, and I can assess for myself, okay, I'll be capable or no. This one I'm ticking off for outsourcing. But if you just mention the names, I'm like, I don't have an idea what it will take from me. So in some instances, sometimes a little bit more, and you can, okay, it takes 15 steps, that's fine. No, it's 15 steps, it doesn't work. But that really helps because I saw the stories picking up like crazy, and people having great, it really looks great with some music on it, just to get my hands on it, to know, okay, this is what it's going to take. Yes, to know, and then obviously knowing if I could rather outsource it than making it myself, or is it actually easy to?
Yeah, I mean, so we're gonna post that in the group, Tori.
Yeah.
But always, ladies, and I tell you, Google is your best friend. How do I make a reel? You will find, I don't even know how many different, some good, some not so good, and everything in between. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on this, but I just always I'm all about simplicity and what do we really need? So ladies, I do want you to think about, as you are consuming content out there, whether it be by email that clicks somewhere, or YouTube or social, more conventional social like Facebook and Instagram, note what you're seeing your people that you admire doing, and what would you like to kind of try if you haven't yet, or what do you want to focus on?
I think, yeah, you also need to figure out what goals. Tigga, you're gross.
Oh, yes, we always have to choose a goal. Why are we doing what we're doing? Absolutely.
Yeah, because that's also going to determine what it is you want to focus on. So for me this year, I don't want to spend a ton of time on Instagram. I don't want to spend a ton of time on Facebook, because these platforms, yeah, they're great platforms. Mr. Red, stop. They're great platforms, but the reach isn't there. People can maybe potentially go search a hashtag on that and may come across you. But if you are using a platform like YouTube or Pinterest instead, then SEO is going to start picking up on the keywords that you're using, and you will organically come up in the search. And so if you're trying to, if that's something that you're trying to do and be the expert in this go-to field that you're in, and pop up for this one keyword all the time, then maybe we need a YouTube strategy or a Pinterest strategy instead than focusing on Instagram. Because Instagram and Facebook, they're not search engines. At the end of the day, people cannot search for you. Mm-hmm. If they stumble upon you, that's great. If you have large audiences on them and you just want to stay top of mind, then that's a great reason to be utilizing those platforms. But they're a lot harder too to be seen on those platforms because of Facebook's rules and the algorithms and all of that stuff too. So you need to be mindful of that. How much time do you actually want to? It might be easier to post a story or to post, a quick reel or a live on Facebook, but how many people are actually seeing it?
Yeah, that's exactly why it's difficult for me to choose that one strategy, because they're so different. Going for Facebook, again, you have pros and cons and everything, but I mean, YouTube is just so much different than Facebook. To choose between using Facebook or using YouTube is like comparing cats and dogs. So it's very difficult for me to choose one, because they're so different, different strategies. And you can obviously repurpose stuff that you did on YouTube for Facebook. Yes, so that's what you're saying now is why it's difficult to choose between, one of the social medias or using a search engine.
My theory on it is I want to do the thing that I need to do to show up for my audience, to be the expert, and I want the piece of content that I use to be able to be reused and to be valuable in other places. And so that's why I chose the medium video, and that's why I also chose YouTube too, because ultimately it's coming up in the search engine. But I can take that YouTube video and upload it on Facebook. Cut out that end of the, the end part, so it doesn't have the end card, and put it over on Facebook, and put it out there that way. So I'll usually do that. or now I've been doing a lot of live streaming too. So I'll live stream something and then I'll take that live stream, put it on IGTV, take that live stream and put it out on different places. I know we're supposed to choose one platform or strategy, but it sounds like there are other great options I don't even know about. So if I choose video, will that be more universal? I love video because you could put video into a blog. You could take your video and you can rip the audio from it and turn it into a podcast if that's what you want to do. So and you don't necessarily have to do that. You could just be that person on there telling people what it is that they need to know, and you can outsource the rest of it, but you can't outsource you being the expert on video.
Mm-hmm. I love that. And so ladies, hear me on this again. I want you to choose, you will get an overview of the different types of videos you can use and, a brief overview on why YouTube is good and what Pinterest and YouTube have that, IG and Facebook don't have, that kind of thing, which we touched on here. But even if you choose before then Facebook, but now you hear about YouTube, that's okay. But we want to take you through the methodology to go deep to understand how do you create that plan deep on the action steps so that then you can take that overall approach to creating a plan to your next strategy, if that makes sense. Okay. So don't get crazy about, oh my God, what if I choose the wrong one?
And you
A
may
video
not
is
know.
not the strategy. Video is a tool that you can use on different platforms. But when you say choose one, that's for going all in and doing that one to learn the process. And
Right.
then you can use, because it sounds like, oh, videos. I mean, Alicia, you could do videos on all of these platforms. I mean,
Yep.
so it's not video, it's the process of going deep on that on one of the.
Right. So to me, that would be a YouTube, or maybe it could be blogging or vlogging, which is kind of the same thing because you'd use it in a similar way. But there is, on the post inside the group, I gave my slide from my slide deck on some of the more popular strategies from which to choose. So I would look at that because you can use Facebook without doing video. I don't think that would be a smart thing to do, but you could say I'm going to do Facebook groups and I'm going to go live or something occasionally, but never really do video other than your live. And that's okay. Then we're going to go all deep. And how are you going to do that? What are you going to do? So.
Yeah, I mean, even on IGTV, even on Instagram, you have stories, then you have the live component inside stories, then you can put a video on your feed for up to a minute long. You can use IGTV, which goes up to 15 minutes. Now you have Reels. That's like 5 or 6 different ways you could use video just in one platform. So that's why I'm saying it can get very overwhelming if you're like, I'm going to do IGTV and Facebook or LinkedIn or even YouTube has all of those things too. They have stories, they have live, they have YouTube, they now have shorts, which is going to be the competitor to Reels and TikTok. So they're all competing because they all want a piece of us.
Yeah. So just choose one. We will guide you along the way and help you even, for me, I'm always going to be here, ladies. You want to figure out the next thing, you decided Facebook and now you want to do YouTube. Okay, then let's talk about that framework that we use to devise our plan.
And you might not go ahead.
If we don't have like a definitive one, if we have two that we kind of go back and forth, how do we decide which one is more effective to start out with? Like
Okay.
between Facebook and Instagram, how do we
that answer? You know that answer. You've been with me long enough. Where's my ideal client and how do they like to consume content? So if you're saying, well, how do I know which one's the winner? that's the entrepreneurial life, trying things and monitoring it. And we're constantly tweaking. How about it, Tori? We are constantly tweaking our messaging or tweaking kind of how we're doing email marketing. I mean, we're all constantly learning. So we don't have to have this fear mindset of, oh my goodness, what if I choose the wrong one? Because it's amazing how even the wrong strategy, but tweaked, can be so much more effective. And that's what this retreat's all about.
Yeah. And I would add one more thing to that too. Obviously you want to be where your audience is going to be, but you want to love what you're doing too. If you hate that platform and you're going to like, just not, do everything on your to-do list except, post something on Instagram because you hate it, it's not going to be beneficial to you. So you want to make sure that you love communicating on that platform as well. So these are stories. Do you guys all use stories yet on Facebook and Instagram?
I can't see anybody. Can you, Tori?
Oh, yes, I see people.
Okay. I only see you.
You only see me.
Yep.
Okay, so this is just a picture of me inside of an Instagram story, and there's stickers in there that you could put on. So it says level up and girl boss.
We are doing the business vision board workshop, and I wanted to answer some of your questions because somebody had asked, do vision boards even work? And so I wanted to kind of explain that.
So that takes a part of it'll take a part of your IGTV if you want to put it in your stories. So you could hear a little bit of it and then add text. And also I added this GIF and this sign up GIF. I have over 10,000 people on my Instagram, so I can add a link to it if I wanted them to link to it and sign up. And this one right here, oops, go back.
How do you make these? How did you make that middle one?
It is so much easier than it looks. If I can do it, believe me, anybody.
Oh
can.
my word.
This middle one, I made in Instagram stories. Well, what I did was obviously I uploaded the IGTV, and then you can so even if you don't have 10,000 followers on your Instagram, you can still link back to any IGTV video that you do. So it'll allow you to add the link in there. And so that populates and does whatever it's going to do for your video. But then I just added the text and the GIFs in there from stories. It's all right there inside the platform.
Yeah. And maybe I'll do a little tutorial on that, because if I can do it, anybody can do it. I just don't know how to make what appears here to appear on my screen. So I can only show you what my computer can do. But the hard part about this,
you need an adapter.
Okay.
I got you. I'll tell you how to do it.
Okay.
And then this one, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the hard part of that, Instagram does it for you.
Yes.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So another thing too, so then this one too, what's one thing you'll conquer this month? And then they would be able to type something in, and then I would get their answers. You can reuse all of your stories as well into, onto other platforms. You can also actually add these to your blog post as well. I've done that a couple of times. So you can reuse your stories, because stories technically are only up for 24 hours. You can save them into a highlights reel. But what you really want to worry about when you're dealing with stories is that you want to make it be interactive, right? People love to talk about themselves and about what they think. So use the tools that are inside of that platform and really try and actively listen to what they say, and then use that information as research to, improve your business, to write another post, to talk about something like a pain point that they might be having. So you can ask a question, that little questions tab right there. That's where that question, that sticker would come up where you can ask the question and then they would just insert it. You can add a countdown. So if you were countdowning a particular event that you were going to do, you can add the countdown tab there. You can poll someone just with asking them a yes or no type question. And then you can obviously put a quiz in there too. So that's sometimes fun.
And if you use IG, you've seen this before. This just pops up. It's really, believe me, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And when we're there together, I will be happy to sit with all of you and make sure you feel good about how to add these different things to your stories.
Yes. And then this is what I was talking about too. So on,
That
so where
sounds
you
great.
so where you see events, fun, videos, fur babies, travel, blog, tips, right here on the screen, these are all, there's something called highlight reels. I know that can get a little confusing, but this is where it's going to highlight your story. So you would just attach your story. If you go on your Instagram and see this pink circle around anyone's story, like around anyone's profile, that means that they have a story on there that you can see, and that you'll have up to 24 hours to catch it live. Then what you can decide to do is, hey, this was a great story, or for me, I don't want to create content that is only up for a limited amount of time and people don't see it. To me, that doesn't make sense and it's not a good use of my time. So I'll put it in my highlight reel. So if anybody would click on events or they go click on fun, they'll see a series of videos based off of the events that I've went to, or the fun that I've had, or videos. So that's a way basically that you can categorize your stories so people can enjoy them later. You want to make sure that you tell people about yourself when you're doing video, and even when you're just doing a regular social media post. People really won't trust you unless you're willing to trust them. So tell them what you generally care about, what you think, share why you do what you do and what makes you unique. This is all like that personal story, that brand that you're trying to shine through. So you stand out amongst your competition. And you could tell, a story through images, through written words, or of course video. And people ask me all the time, like, do I still stage properties, or like, what do I do? And for me, I love creating amazing spaces, but I equally love curating content. So, I mean, I built this company so I can have my two passions. So I understand your pain when you're like, I can't pick one. I'm a Gemini, so I really can't pick one either half the time. But it's definitely easier when you do one. And I want you to just give yourself permission to kind of get out of your own way throughout this whole entire process, as you listen to the other facilitators speak here in these pre-recorded trainings. Also, when we are down at the retreat, just be open to everything and be open to the process. And let me quickly go over live streaming with you here too, so you guys can maybe start practicing. Oh yeah, you have to practice because we're gonna be doing some. Okay, so live streaming is still kind of the fastest way to build a relationship online. Facebook, Instagram, and even YouTube. LinkedIn it's in beta, but yes, they have it as well. Provide live streaming, and that really allows you to have this two-way conversation, which can elevate, selling something very quickly. Now, why do you want to go live? Because it creates an instant connection. People get to know who you are, and they get to learn something valuable that you share with them. And it's really important when you're going to be doing live streaming that you keep a regular schedule. And I'll tell you, so for me, I have, let's say, Tori Tip Tuesday inside my Facebook. It's on my personal page now. It used to be on my professional page. but I've switched it to my personal page because I get more interaction over there. And so every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, I'll go live inside the group. I'll go live and share a tip. And so people show up for that because I've been consistent since 2017, basically doing that. Have you guys all went live before? Yes. I can't see Nancy or, if you haven't.
I know Nancy and Alicia have. Amber, I'm only blessed to know her recently, so I don't know if she's gone live.
Well, one little tip here, if you're still a little nervous about going live or a specific topic that you're not sure you want to go live on, but you obviously want it to look live, you can go to this little toggle here by the date and the time. And when you click on it, you can just click on only me. And when you click on only me and go live, only you will see it. So then if you decide that you actually like the video that you just did and you want people to see it, you can go back in and choose a different choice here to allow people to see it. So you can make it public. You can just, so anybody can see it on or off of Facebook. Friends accepts other people. So that's the little trick. If you're still worried about going live, but you want to practice it more, is hitting that only me button so only you can see it.
Interesting. Yeah, Nancy. So it doesn't come over as live until you unlock it. It doesn't go out. It's not seen.
Yeah, it will not. So you want to obviously be interactive on a live stream because it's a two-way street. And so I want you to interact by welcoming people by their name if they jump on with you. You can ask an icebreaker question, potentially, depending on your topic. You can ask viewers to invite, tag, and share with other people. You can explain, obviously, then what's coming up, because that's almost like your teaser, right? When you're going live, it takes some time. It takes a few minutes for Facebook to notify all of your friends and your followers to then say, hey, Tori's live, come over here. So during that time, you don't want to be sharing all your good information because no one's going to be on there live to see it. So you need to kind of break the ice, say what's coming up, do these little stall tactic things until more people show up live. And even if people don't show up live, don't worry about it. There's replays, right? But those are some things that you can do in order to get people on before you share all your good information. So explain what's coming up. Speak as you would to one person when you're on a live stream. Don't be speaking to like a bunch of people, just speak to one person. If viewers have questions, if they have something to say, let them drive the conversation. If you have an engaging viewer watching you live, that's helping the conversation overall, then, definitely be engaging with them because more people might have the same question or want more information on that.
I'm sorry, Tori. Nancy asked a question. Is there a way to make the chat larger? I'm trying to look at the screen without squinting. I don't know what to do with that. I think that's dependent upon whatever monitor you have, right? Oh, on your cell phone. Oh, golly, I don't know how to do that.
Oh.
I see people like have their cell phone. They're doing, I don't know if they have just super young eyes, but if I have my cell phone and I'm trying to look and like think about 30 things at once, the last thing I want to do is go like this to try and read their comments.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were saying here, like the Zoom. I'm like,
yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
What I did at one point, because I was doing a lot of lives, but I was like demonstrating something. So the camera was like on the other side of the table. And so I would then grab my iPad and have that be where I could interact and see what they're saying. So had that closer to me. You just want to make sure that it's not on volume or you're going to get the kickback too. So just be wary of that. And then Yeah, so then after, I would say if you're going to go on a longer live, after about 10 minutes, because people, you know, they're on, then they'll drop off, just kind of repeat your intro really again quickly, or maybe repeat the specific like little touching points that you're talking about on your topic. And then show comments on the screen if you can. You could do that by using software like Be Live or StreamYard. I just started using StreamYard again. And that can be a fun little way. If you're looking to put like a show together, a little bit more of a professional looking show and more engaging, you can use a platform, like I said, Be Live or StreamYard to do that for you. Answer questions, ask questions, right? This is all engaging, interactive. So we want to make sure that we are asking questions. And then again, usually have one single call to action after all of this. So get them to do something to continue that relationship on. You know, can you get them to go to your website? Can you get them to download something? Can you get them to message you? Put, you know, maybe you want to put a picture, to have the comments and the conversation going in the, you know, in the comment section, put a picture in or anything. Call to actions are really kind of endless.
And real quickly, Alicia, I think we're going to be addressing this much more obviously down at the retreat, but she says, how do you get more people to engage in your lives? Yeah, ask. You really, and Alicia does great on her lives.
Call them out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we need to do what we can to encourage people's reactions, people's comments, but until then, we just keep on smiling and we just keep doing our due. I mean, that's my best advice. Specifically, as I mentioned, if there is a live that you were really surprised with the lack of engagement, or any video, ladies, and you're surprised, I would love you to pull the URL from that, post it in the group, or put it on your survey. Remember, I talked about that at the group coaching for those of you in the academy. The best way we can help you is to look at a specific example. So feel free to post that URL of the video or of the whatever that you're not happy with, and that way we can better evaluate it.
Yep. Yeah. And with video, you really, you can't get better at video unless you go back in and watch it and check it out. So you can't be afraid of that whole part of it either. On live streams, again, this could be the fastest way to a direct sale when it comes to your business and utilizing video. So you can sell your product or service at this time by using live streams too, with that either call to action, or maybe every couple of live streams you specifically talk about your service or your product that you are offering. You know, you could share how you can help solve a client's problem. You could do a show and tell of your product or your service that you have. You can talk about a promotion that's coming up, do a live demonstration of your product or your service. And then also, how can you kind of repurpose that video? So can you take that live stream that you're doing and maybe then cut out, you know, like edit out when you're interacting with the people, but then take that video and put it on your sales page, put it, you know, into a mini course, charge money for it afterwards, you know, take it down off of Facebook and then charge money for it. So think about that aspect of it all too. It's not like, hey, I got to do a live stream because it's Tuesday, let me go live. How can that piece of content live on and better serve you for what you need down the road? So you're saving time. Now, what do people find when they go looking online for your business? I say this all the time, like you have to do a Google search, research what comes up, and then direct the narrative. So I would recommend, before you guys all come to the retreat, that you search for your business online and see what's coming up. And if nothing's coming up, then that's definitely something that we need to start working on so you do come up. So then maybe that's why we would want to then do more of an SEO type of platform versus a Facebook or an Instagram. So search for your business, search for generic terms for your business, and create content then behind the research that you discover. So if you're searching for your business, but your competitor keeps coming up, see what kind of content that is, or see what keeps coming up, and how can you create content around that that would then make you come up in the search as well. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, and then, so this is actually, and this is actually an old picture, but this is actually on average what my phone will look like on a daily basis. It's kind of insane. Yeah, today it's crazy. I have 139 emails, 22 Facebooks, 243 on YouTube. It's insane. So this it's really important that you stay focused on social media to really help increase your business goals, determine which social channels that are going to make the most sense for your business. No matter which platform you choose, you always want to think about these three things. How will you create awareness about your business? How will you provide customer service? And how will you drive a call to action?
Very good.
Yes. You can start your own Facebook group, which we don't really need to talk about that at the moment. Just trying to see, how are we doing on time, Judy?
We're getting long.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the last thing that I want to talk about. Yeah. So how it all kind of comes together is that really we just need to be building relationships. No matter if you decide to choose video or not, video will help. I would say video is the lighter fluid to set the fire, right? It just creates more of a spark. It just creates more of a fire. So I would definitely recommend doing it. And we want to connect by reaching out, sharing referrals, and kind of be on the top of online searches whenever possible. We want to be able to provide a positive experience no matter where the prospective customer is engaging with you. So be helpful and answer questions wherever you see a question about your topic. You want to entice them to stay in touch with you as much as possible. So try to connect with them on email, try and get them on social sites. And then once connected, you need to consistently be engaging with them. And that's where this social media plan is going to come in that you're learning at the retreat. And really, I think one of the easiest ways that you could do all of that is with video. So here is my contact information if you want to reach out to me. I do want to propose a challenge to all of you guys. So over the next 5 days, starting with today, we're going to be doing a press record video challenge. So
Nice.
basically the purpose of this challenge is to really move us forward and start using video more in our business. And so I want you today to do, what do I want you to do? Okay, sorry, here it is. Okay, so I want you to go live inside of our Facebook group and share a purposeful story. So tell us why you decide to join. What personal story can you use to kind of connect with us? You can talk about the benefits, or what will the benefit be for those, who start watching your videos. So what are they going to get out of it? Tell us like what you want your audience to get out of it. And then in the title, use challenge, and then whatever the day would be. So challenge number one, accepted. And then yeah, so just introduce yourself, tell us a personal story, and tell us what can your audience learn when you use video with them.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Ladies, questions. Who's up for the challenge? The more you do video, the easier it's going to be.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like riding a bike.
Yeah.
I'm up for it. It is, by the way, it is 9 p.m. 20
Yeah.
minutes past 9 p.m. my side. So I will do the video right now. Otherwise, I'm going to do it with closed eyes.
Oh my goodness. Otherwise, you'll do it when you're asleep.
Oh my word, I'm tired already. Okay, just recap on what we have to do is share a powerful story, like any story or something to relate with you guys that's going to the retreat or to my audience.
So just introduce yourself, share a personal story
With you ladies.
with us, yeah, that you want to get to know, yeah, with us, and then also why, or not why, but what your audience will get when they start listening to you. Like, so so for me, mine would be like, when I'm going to do video, I want my audience to learn more about marketing tactics. So
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. All right. If you have other questions, let me know. Please post these videos. Just do a separate post for yourself. And like, you know, you don't have to
I'll
do it
recap
under.
it. I'll recap it quickly.
Well,
there
okay,
too.
cool. Okay, that'd be good. Then you can put it under the comments, however you want to do it. Just please do it.
Oh, and then so you all know this. So I'm going to be going live inside the group for the rest of the week at 6. Well, I was going to do in the afternoons.
That's okay. Because if we don't do it that day, we do it within 24 hours of your.
Okay. So I was going to do it 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific.
That's cool.
I don't know where everybody is, so.
They're all over. Well, you know, Alicia's in South Africa. We have a couple from California. Actually, all the ladies here are from California, but we have 1 or 2 from the East Coast as well. So
Okay.
that's fine.
6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific. I will be live inside there sharing about the challenge for that day.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Tori. Ladies,
Thank
see you
you.
inside the group. All right, take good care.
Bye.
Thank you.